Hello and welcome to this helpful guide. Now, these are the crafts that you can do pretty much all wipe. This wipe anyway. There are obviously the events and stuff that things get a little skewed, but you just craft whatever's going at that time. But these will be pretty good for all wipe unless they make drastic changes. Now, we'll start with a workbench. As you can see on the screen, we have the 2 gunpowders. There are obviously 3, but this is very early access, so pretty much everyone can do it. And 120 HP bullets, and that gets you 2 blue gunpowders. 2 of those grenades, and one of the, I think they're smokes, gets you 2 green. Now, the cost of it is there. The blue is 86.40, and the cost of the green is 44,000. Now, it does seem a lot, but the green you can sell for 45 to 60, depending on where the market is. Sometimes more, sometimes you got to wait a little bit. Now, the blue you can sell pretty much always for about 23, 25. You can sell for more, and obviously with the cost you can sell for less, but whatever the going price is around the 20 to 30 plus, sell it for whatever's going. Don't undercut yourself, because you just lose money. And that's pretty much all you want to do at the workbench. Obviously you can do other bullets for everything, but you pretty much just want to work on something cheap and get you good profit, and then you can buy the bullets and everything as well. Now we move on to the lavatory. These won't change unless they change the traders. Both of these are Ragman, and the sling bags any time, but the beanies is 4 per rotation. So you need to buy each time, even if you're not crafting it, buy the 4 beanies, that way you got spare. Some of this you need to buy in a bit of a bulk when it's cheap, because it will save you in the long run. Now, the cost of these, the sling bag 81.84, the beanies is 9,072. Now, the sling bags make the Cordura. That can sell for 15k pretty much all the time. Can get more, sometimes a bit less, depending on how silly people are. Now, the beanies make fleece. The fleece you can sell for 11k and pretty much easy money, but try to sell it for 14. That makes a good little profit depending on your levels and all that, but 14 is where you want to try to sell it, but obviously 11 gets your profit anyway. And there are a couple other things you can do in the lavatory, but those 2, yeah, they're traders, they won't change. You're not dependent on people, which is always a good trade. Med station. Now, the pile of meds does fluctuate. The difficult part of it is when people, for some random reason, decide to sell things for expensive. Now, the pile of meds, also, you don't use it to craft the AI2 meds. So, it's 2 separate crafts, 2 separate cells, not craft one to make the other. The AI2, you want to get for 6k or less. Now, you do have to wait sometimes, because it does help you with the actual selling of them, because they do get up to 6,500. And you want to sell them for around 6,200, 6,300, and it makes a decent little profit. Now, I did skip ahead, but the bandages you buy from the therapist, 21.82 all the time. You can buy them cheaper because people do sell them cheaper. The Augmentin, you want to try to buy for 18k or less. You can generally get it for less, but sometimes it pushes 20, 25. So you want to wait till it comes back down to 18, unless you worked it out and you can get it all for around the 26,182, with more expensive this way, less expensive that way, and yeah. As long as your overall number is good, and you want to sell the parlor meds for around 15, 16k minimum. They do jump up, so you want to, as soon as they jump up, you chuck them all on. But that sort of 15, 16k is where you're aiming. So then, the parlor meds you actually want to get is around 14k. 14, 15k, you'll break even. So it's one of those ones where you buy when it's cheap and you buy a few crafts. You need to watch the market and not really care where other people want to sell. You want to make sure you sell where you're going to make profit. That's where the 6,300 for the AI meds is a good price. Because what's that? That's 19k selling it all, which obviously is profit. And then you want to try to build up a stockpile and then chuck them on. And now there is no actual nutrition station because that fluctuates dramatically. People for some reason think that some things are worth a fortune one day and some things aren't. Generally, if you're going to do it, do the emergency water ration. When it's cheap, the Crust water is sometimes good because that can push 60k per bottle when people are being silly. You want to try to capitalize on people being silly. But do watch out because there are times where you get the... whoops. Where'd I go? You get the people who stream or YouTube or have friends or whatever. You can tell they're pushing the price down. Don't chase that price. Put it at what the price is. A prime example is the gunpowder. The gunpowder on the time I'm making this, just before I made this, gunpowder was selling for 80k, which is 20, 30k above where it normally sells. So I chucked them on. Excuse me. And it was selling around 80k, 79k, because people were trying to get on. But you could tell someone was trying to drive the price down to 65, 60k, because every time it would go back up, you'd end up with 80k around. Boom. Someone would jump on with 70k when it's sitting at 80. So then 65k, 55k, and sometimes like a 30k drop. So don't chase the price because that is someone making the price go that way. It jumped back up and I sold at 81k. So don't chase it. Just put it at where the market value is. Sometimes the market just goes sideways on you. That's why you do bulk items. You get more items on the market the longer your time is. So if you just put one thing on and the market goes against you, you might have to wait that entire time, or it won't sell because the swing isn't as, I think it's like 11 hours or whatever on most things you get, give or take, depending on the category of item, I believe. But if you put even 4, 5 items of, let's do gunpowder. I did 4 items. I had 20 hours to sell it, which is pretty much a day. And the swing is going to go like that, and it's going to come back to me. Luckily for me, it came back pretty much within 5 minutes. So do be careful, and those are the crafts. And if you have any other ideas and crafts that you like to do put them down in the bottom in the comments. But push all those buttons if you liked it and all that. And I'll catch you next time. Bye bye.